And then we sort of moved on to some label design. And we just we thought a lot, I thought a lot about how foam's right on the water, and how much I love to swim in the summer, and then afterwards go grab a beer with friends. So it actually ended up looking like this was the final print that we ended up doing, and then bringing into Photoshop, and we sort of worked together to add color in Photoshop. Actually, I'm a global studies and Spanish major at UVM, but last year I sort of decided, I was sort of talking about, do I do a thesis, do I write something like that, and then my mom and sister were in town, and we were talking about, the future and that sort of thing, and we actually, they were like, well, what makes you really happy? And I told them that, really when I'm creating art, that's when I'm the happiest, but I'm not sure that's a career path or anything like that. And they were both just so supportive, and they were like, you should try it out, don't write a thesis if you don't want to write a thesis, follow your dreams, I guess. But so I was in a digital art class at the time, and I ended up creating a website and sort of selling stickers and then working for local bands, and it's kind of just taken off from there in a really sort of organic and beautiful way. Yeah, so I was home in Chicago for the summer. It was the last summer that my sister and my brother and I were all going to be together in the same place, and my family is something that's really important to me, so we all decided to come home for the summer. And I was waitressing 50 hours a week, so I didn't really have a bunch of time to feel creative. And faces were something that have always been really prevalent in my work. They've always sort of just shown up. When I sit down to draw, that's the first thing I draw, and things move from there. So I wanted to kind of take that to its natural extreme, and I drew a face every day for 100 days, during my break at the restaurant, or on a Saturday on the beach with my family by the lake. And it ended up just being this super meditative and sometimes very frustrating process of, oh my gosh, I haven't drawn my face yet today. Or sometimes it was I have discovered all these new ways to express this one specific subject. So they told me that they wanted to design a can based on a song by Beck, who's a musician that I actually am a really big fan of. And they gave me a bunch of song titles, and they were like, let me know which one jumps out at you. And one of them was actually a song that I used to listen to in high school called Think I'm in Love, which is this song, which is, I feel on a base level about kind of falling in love and kind of the anxiety. One of the lines is, think I'm in love, but it makes me kind of nervous to say so. And I think that kind of really illustrates this beautiful anxiety and emotion around just life in general. Registration is the thing that takes me the longest. So the first one of those is actually the cover photo for the event on Facebook, and it's a piece that I did, and I called it Summer in Champlain/Michigan, which sort of plays on the dichotomy of the summers that I've spent here and then the summers that I've spent in Chicago, but they've both been very based on bodies of water, all of my experiences, and so I kind of imagine that that's sort of what my summer has looked like personified, and so those are just sort of 2-color prints that I've been doing, that I'm really stoked to get out to people, because I think that I'm really proud of them, so I'm just excited to share them with people. And then the other one is part of a series I did called Home. And that one is specifically called Come Home to Yourself. And over the past couple of years, I've thought a lot about what concepts of home are, and as you know, I've moved like 800 miles away from my family's home, and as you know, everything has changed. I've actually found that my relationships with my family have gone stronger. And so this concept of home, I feel like, is really something that you just carry with you and you cultivate, hence the title, Come Home to Yourself. That's really what makes a creative endeavor worthwhile, is obviously you make art and it's something that comes from yourself and comes from within, but I think what makes it really worthwhile is that collaboration, like I did with foam, and talking to other people about their vision and then manifesting that is what the most rewarding thing. To be able to continue to do that is definitely one of my hopes, and just to be able to continue being inspired by the places that I am, no matter where they are. It's definitely never something that I'll just stop doing, and I think as I've brought it sort of to a more prominent place in my life, I've realized that that's where it needs to be.